your story starts way back when in Chicago in the very turn of the millennium.
Yes.
When I was but a young student at I.O. and watching you two improvise, and you were very inspiring, both of you.
Well, that is very kind of you to say, because we were not doing our best work there.
You were saving it.
I was still learning.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, and we were there before you. Like we had so I think I got to Chicago in 94.
Cool.
And started taking classes pretty quickly after that.
Is that where your improv journey started?
I did. So I studied abroad in England, and there was
Jeez, here we go. Surprised you're not putting on the accent.
In the UK. Have you guys heard about it? And we had an improv teacher there, but I think that then it was just very he made up everything. Like it was not a formal education at all.
He was improvising the curriculum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I also in college had somebody who taught improv, but it wasn't until I got to Second City that was actual formal training. And the truth is that I had no intention on doing that. I thought I was going to be a regional actress, and one of my friends that we went to London with was like, I'm doing this Second City Conservatory audition. Do you want to come? And I didn't know anybody. I had nothing going on. So I was like, okay. So I went to the audition, and they were like, you should take improv for actors, which is
you got the goods.
Yeah. Which is their nice way of saying, we think this might be for you. You know, we see that you're a performer, but you're not ready for the conservatory. So I did with Don DePaulo, who was like a real old school.
Donnie's Skybox was named after him. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And met friends and just loved it and started to take classes there.
Yeah, cool. What about your backstory?
I first started seeing improv, the British Whose Line is it anyway, on what came before Comedy Central. And then in college, I started doing improv with a bunch of other theater nerds.
Where was college?
Texas A&M University.
Cool.
And so we thank you, people who've never been there. And then we started a group that was just absurdly into it. So we rehearsed 3 times a week, and then ended up going to see a Tourco show, a Second City Tourco show, and talk to them. They gave us Sharna's number, so we ended up doing a workshop at I.O.
They gave you Sharna's home phone number.
Did. Well, we had read Truth in Comedy, and we went to their show, and we all ended up at the one place in Waco, Texas, where you can get a beer after a show, which was a fucking Chili's. So we talked to them. We were like, "Hey, we liked your show," and they said, "Don't talk like that." But we were like, we were at Truth in Comedy. We were. It was like, oh, we would have done a Herald had we known.
Cute.
It was adorable. And so they were like, well, if you like this, you should talk to this old weird lady with a dog.
And it was like Tina Faye.
Yeah, it was. I was trying not to name drop, but okay, yeah, it was
Tina
like Tina
Fey?
Faye and Amy Poehler. Yeah.
Oh, geez, heard of them.
Yeah. So we ended up going to Chicago, and then many of us moved to Chicago thereafter, and started at I.O. in 96.
Yeah, incredible. When you moved there, were you like, okay, this is going to be my life path now? Or was it just like, I want to do this more because this is my favorite thing about college?
No, I moved a block away from I.O. I was like, I want to do this as much as I possibly can.
So his college group, they were doing sold out shows every weekend. So it was definitely I can see why the bug was bit. There was nothing to do in College Station.
Correct.
So
no offense.
No. I mean, the last shows we did in college were sold out of the 750-seat theater.
Oh my
God. And then we moved and then we moved to Chicago, and I'm like, I'm lucky if I can perform Wednesday in front of 12 people.
Right.
So and not the huge crowds that we're used to now. But yeah, it was definitely a culture shift as we made that transition.
Here's a question: do you feel like performing at that young age for 750 people sold out was more or less formative than performing for the handful of people who weren't a sold out crowd?
I mean, I think they both teach you different things. I think the skill of entertaining a room that big is different than doing a show for a few dozen people who might be in an improv theater, and it's important to be able to cultivate both if you want to keep doing this. It was certainly more of an ego boost than I probably should have had at that age.
Moving in the direction though of like from that to just a handful of people, did you feel the like humility muscle being worked?
Oh yeah. The nice thing about improv is there's no shortage of opportunities to work that humility muscle.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll touch on more of them, but improv is a very patient teacher, and it will, particularly if you're like a cocky young kid the way I was. Now I'm just a cocky middle-aged man.
Yeah, great. You've earned it back.
Thank you. Yeah. I've earned it back. But yeah, there's no shortage of opportunities to learn that, you're not actually that great.
You're never too great to still eat shit.
Exactly.
So Kristy, like when did your life path transition from I'm going to be a regional actress to I'm going to do comedy and improv is it?
Yeah. So I can't remember the theater, but another theater friend was like, we're going to go take a scenes class. And I was like, amazing, let's do it. Or monologues. And now I'm in Second City, I'm taking classes. And I got up and did my monologue. And he was like, what do you think? And I was like, it sounded like rehearsed and not original and just the total opposite of improv. And he was like, that's pretty accurate. And I just knew that I wasn't putting my heart into this other thing. It just wasn't, not exciting, but it wasn't getting me going. And like, I was excited to go see shows and all of this stuff. And the monologue class felt like homework.
Yeah.
And I don't think I finished. I think I shook hands and I was like, I'm sorry for wasting your time. I'm very interested in this other thing.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
I think we are in agreement that I should not be in this class right now. And and I just started, and not even in a sad way, like not like acting. It was just, this is the thing for me right now.
It was an organic life transition.
Well,
exactly.
The late 90s in Chicago were like a really great time to be getting into improv. Like it was still concentrated enough. Like if you wanted to do long form improv, there weren't a lot of places in the world where that was really happening. And it was happening on Clark Street in Chicago, like with an amazing level of talent by people who were ferociously into it and creative and trying stuff. So we got to like learn from the best of the best and see incredible examples of what the art could be.
Yeah, let's stick here for a second. When you think into your brain garage of the mosaic of all of the improv shows that you watched when you were coming up, are there standout moments that either of you have of watching a particular scene or a show or a person, a move that blew your mind or something that sticks with you that you can share?
I remember going to see Slotnick, Katz, and Lair at, was it the Athenaeum? Is that what you said?
They did a Steppenwolf thing too.
I don't know. But they were, and this, I'm still in classes and stuff, and it blew my head apart because they were
sorry.
Yeah, it was painful.
Sounds painful.
Yes, exactly. Just and I can specifically, none of this is going to sound revolutionary anymore, but I remember somebody going upstairs like to another level,
like mime stairs.
Yes, and so bending space. Which,
oh, gotcha. One person is here. They're standing in actual physical space, even with each other, but one person is looking up and the other person is looking down.
Yes.
Yeah. An underused device in today's improv shows.
Yes.
It's so simple and it's so effective. And I see people trying to do it sometimes and they're seen part. I think it's not taught enough.
Yeah.
If you are listening to this podcast and you are an improv teacher, spend 5 minutes teaching this skill.
Yes.
Because, it's so, as an audience, isn't it such a buzzkill when you see someone trying to be like, hey, in the treehouse, and the other person's like, yeah?
Yeah.
And just looks at them straight up. Yeah.
Well, and I remember moves like at IO where it would be two people both facing the audience, and one would be a bartender and one would be somebody getting a drink. And that stuff was, I don't know why, but in a show it was just like, oh, I see what they're doing.
Because it's magical.
It's magical.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the set that follows this. We will be doing
None of that.
None of this.
No. Yes.
We're going to play 30 minutes of freeze tag,
That's
and that's it.
Yes.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. Do you have any standout things?
I don't know if there's one standout moment or anything in particular. It was just an accumulation of seeing like people like Stephanie Weir and Brian Stack
Yeah.
How
in
about
Armando.
Naked?
Naked with Stephanie Weir and Jim Crane.
Yeah, that was an
fantastic.
amazing
Like
show.
That's when they did an hour
they did
straight.
an hour single scene.
Yeah.
And again, it was like, can we do that? Is that
allowed?
Where's the
It
improv
sounds
police?
crazy because I'm sure like our diehard listeners have seen these things before, but at the time
It was revolutionary.
It was revolutionary.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, that's amazing. They're so brave. I
Yeah.
can't believe it. Yeah.
It really begs the question, like, what hasn't been done yet? Like, in an art form where we can do anything and there are no gatekeepers and
Yeah.
you're in charge of your own scenes and shows, like, what is the next version of a tag out
Yeah.
or like playing someone else's characters or whatever, Yeah.
Well, and things like have their own sort of natural life cycle where, oh, this is really big for a while, but then it gets overused and then kind of played out, and then people are like, no tag outs.
Right.
And so they kind of every new artistic wave is kind of a reaction to the one that came before in a way where they're like, they're doing too much of this. We'll try this.
Yeah,
other thing.
no sweep edits, but
Yeah,
then everything
yeah.
becomes a slacker, and then we
Exactly,
get
yeah.
tired of that.
But
and,
like JTS Brown, like that was a example. Those guys were like, let's throw all of the conventions out. But that wasn't something they decided and started performing the next day. They spent a year rehearsing that and, knowing each other's moves and playing. And I think that sometimes we're much more show focused than we are rehearsal focused or, feeling the dynamic of play and feeling comfortable together. And we want to get right to what form are we doing?
Yeah.
What show are we? And there's a lot to be said for that kind of preparation to make an amazing show.
The device, please,
getting a little
absolutely.
applause there.
The device is never as cool as the sense of play between the people who are using the device. And like that's hard-earned chemistry between people on and off stage, grinding it out. And just finding people that you're copacetic with.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, as our attention spans get shrunken by the age of technology and smartphones, and if our brains have been hacked to the point of, like, not having the patience for rehearsal and whatever, missing the point that the rehearsal is as fun as the show. You don't need an audience there all the time. It's like, it is fun to improvise.
Yeah.
Woo! Texas A&M.
It can be fun. It can also be terrible.
It can also be
awkward and horrible.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, and you had said something when I saw you last in Ann Arbor, like the idea of armchair enthusiast improvisers versus, hardcore cultists like we are.
Yeah.
I just think that sometimes people are like, I just want to meet with my friends and do funnies.
Yeah.
And the thing about Chicago at that time was that was not an option.
Yeah.
I was in a show, in a rehearsal, or working at Second City 6-7 days a week.
I was a couple years behind you guys, and same thing. It was like if you weren't in a class, a practice, or a show that night, then you were there at the bar in IO watching the show, or standing on the railing at Second City if they would let you.
I was
in
a cocktail waitress, so I waited tables for about 2 or 3.
familiar.
Yes,
Yeah.
I brought you your beers.
Your head is more healed than it was then, so I didn't
exactly.
recognize you from
It's
your
so
brain.
true.
Going back,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Call back.
Yeah.
You'll learn them.
Yeah. Well, I needed to pay for Second City classes, and interning was a good way, but not as much money as I made slinging drinks.
Yeah, and you get to see the show every night, and how cool.
And I used to get in trouble because they'd be like, "Did you do 2 rounds?" And I'm like, "Uh-huh."
They're like, all your tables are tapping their fingers and looking around.
Yes.
And,
And I'm like this on the bench watching everybody do a set.
They all said they didn't want anything.
Yeah, I could feel that they didn't want another round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. Allison was my manager then. And
Allison Riley?
yes.
Yeah.
She was not a fan of mine. Sorry. Yeah.
Go figure. The business person wanted to make money.
I know.
I
Yeah.
was just at Second City a week ago, and it holds up. That cast was great. The show was great, but it looked a lot like a Boom show to me. Have you guys been to Second City recently?
Not recently.
It was like electric guitars, and like the set was all like graffiti and different, a working payphone, and all the outfits were like, dressed like a rock star. Like it was not the tuck shirt, white shirt theater that we are used to, but it was great.
I think that to your point about short attention spans, I think that Boom, by virtue of being in Amsterdam and performing for non-English speakers and tourists who are drunk, that they kind of got ahead of the curve on we got to grab people's attention. And I think Second City can't afford to sit back and do hilarious puns about Arthur Miller plays or anything like they used to.
I wish they could.
I mean, I love that shit. As soon as I started getting into improv and I was still in Texas and I didn't have access to see a lot of it, I would do research on the early days of the internet and see old Nichols and May stuff. And
the best.
It was like an amazing era. But it was also a very sort of snobby theater public that they were aiming at.
Yeah, for sure.
And now it's much more mainstream.
Yeah, it was like jokes about vocab and I want to talk about when you two met. When did you meet through improv?
We did.
Oh,
Yeah.
It can happen.
I know. And there's our improv baby in the house.
Yeah.
Wow.
She just
incredible space work. You mimed, and then and then you actually
exactly.
produced.
I was in a group called Preponderate.
I remember you well.
Thank you.
You guys were awesome.
It was a fun group, and
so I wasn't initially in that group. There was an original member. What was her name?
You're going to say a bad thing about her, so I'm not going to tell you her name.
I'm not going to say a bad thing about her. Lori, yeah. Lori said to me, "Oh, hey, Preponderate's looking for some girls," because that was a thing back in the day where there'd be one lady on a team.
On like a 10-person team.
On like a 10-person team. And I was like, oh, I knew everybody was on the team and I'm so hungry to play. And I was like, yeah, absolutely.
You're like, who do I have to bone to get on that team?
Exactly. So she's like, just come to rehearsal. It's so chill. So I came to rehearsal. Nobody knew I was coming. 0 people knew. But they're all so nice.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, get out. So I was like, well, I'm going to play. And I did. And then she quit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because she was like, well, now we have our girl quota.
Yeah.
So one of us has to leave.
We told her to find her own replacement.
Yeah. So I just was waiting for them to be like, no, thank you. And they never did. So that's how I got on the team.
I mean, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, they won, you know, like what a great happenstance for Preponderate.
It was nice. It was very nice.
So that's how you two met, is through that team?
Well, she had been on a team called Redneck Void, which did not last. They're like after the IO 20th anniversary, all of the team names that schedule were anagrams of famous alumni. And so Redneck Void is David Keckner's name. But a buddy of mine from college was on a team with her. And we met through that. So we kind of knew each other, but not really well. And then we started performing together on
with Eric Stone Street.
Yes. Wow. Another name drop. Wow.
Well, I mean, just because one of the first shows we ever had, Sharna came back and read us all the riot act about, you know, just how terrible we were. But she was like, not you, Eric, not you. You were great. So
accurate.
I know. I guess, she knew. So,
that's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I know your show sucked because I walked through and saw 5 seconds of it.
Suzi, I feel like you got some unreleased Sharna energy that you're trying to get out.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
No, you're not. You're definitely not.
Usually, if I talk about Sharna in live shows, like there's somebody there like claps, and this isn't that room. There we go. We have hand raises.
Hands.
Okay. No, there's definitely some shared Sharna trauma.
Yeah, the trauma. But the polite like silence and laughter just makes it seem like I'm an asshole.
Yes.
You are not. You are not.
I think the learning is like never read a team the riot act, and certainly not their first show. Like our first Herald, and we're thinking about beats and all of this stuff. Like,
my favorite part of the Sharna experience was so like Monday nights were the Armando night, and that was on that night because that's when Second City was off. So a lot of the people who played on the stages would come to IO and perform in the Armando show. But if it was a really popular night, she would look through the audience to see who was there on a student comp and tell them to get out of their seat so she could sell their seat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, she's
so we'd be in the
she's
back,
something
like,
else. Yeah, no, we'd be like dodging.
Wanted to stay in the house,
right?
Yeah,
you bring like your stranger mask,
exactly.
Hat pulled down.
Yeah, wear a shirt that says "I don't know what improv is." Ask me about not improv. So when you guys met and started playing together, when did the sparks fly? And were they improv related?
Not on Preponderant.
Yeah,
at
no,
first.
not right away.
No,
Well, she was missing most of her head at that point. So she was not that attractive.
Yeah.
Second callback.
No, so she went out to Boom initially.
Yes.
She was filling in for the last part of Allison Silverman's contract when Allison came back.
What year was this, Kristy?
97.
Cool. Apparently, Allison wrote into her contract she didn't want to work for Christmas, and they, I guess, subsequently never allowed that again. But or they thought they were going to convince her to stay, or I'm not sure.
That sounds like
Yes, exactly.
I can hear Andrew being like, "Yeah, by the time she has the experience and Christmas rolls around, she's going to be dying to stay here."
Yeah.
What family?
Yeah. So Craig Kakowski actually suggested they had a little women's audition to fill in, because they couldn't fill in a woman with another man because there weren't that many women, I'm sure. And so I knew that I couldn't go because it was the high season of waiting tables when I'd make all my money for the rest of the year. And so I was like, oh, there's no way I can go. So I went into the audition like, pow, 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 like, that we were doing guessing games, and I was like, I know, Abraham Lincoln, and just tag outs, and
just trying to throw it,
just playing like I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like if I had really wanted it, I think I would have had. If I thought that it was possible, I probably would have had the worst audition ever, because you'd be
second guessing every choice and trying to do it correctly.
Yes.
And
I just went in guns blazing, and they called, and I was like, oh, it's so nice. Thank you so much. I can't do it because of financial reasons. And my roommates were like, you're crazy. So I talked to my parents, and they were like, we'll float you alone. And then I called them back. I was like, did you call anybody else? And they hadn't. So I took it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Life changing?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I'll remind you that we got married because of that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's a for sure yes now. Yes. I mean, I think that anybody who plays occasionally and then gets the chance to play nightly, it's a game changer. It's astronomical. Like your ability to make changes happen so much quicker because you're not forgetting the thing that you're like, oh, don't forget to do X or Y.
Yeah.
Just confidence and everything.
And what I found when I got to Boom, like within that first few weeks, I was like, oh, like you don't have time to obsess over a show or a move that went poorly. No. It like at I.O. it was like you had a whole month to think about what you did wrong and like, obsess over every little thing.
And talk to your teacher and talk to your coach and talk to and what do you think? What should I do better?
What do I need to work on?
You spend more time thinking about improv than doing it.
Yes. Yeah. And it's usually like thinking about it in kind of a toxic way. Yeah. And at Boom it was like, oh, we got another show in 10 minutes. All right, here I go. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So when did you overlapped at Boom?
So yes and no. So I auditioned in '97 with some other members of Preponderant, and they got hired, and I didn't.
Was this Pete and Seth?
That was Pete and Seth.
Yeah.
And then the next name drop. Notice how I didn't say Seth Meyers.
You did now.
But Pete Rose of Sonic fame.
And Veep.
He's done other things too. He was on Veep.
So sincere.
Yeah, he was just.
He's done other
things. He just had a Jiffy Loop spot. He's doing great. Anyway, enough about him. But yeah, I auditioned and they got in and I didn't. And then the next year, I actually missed my audition slot because I was hungover and I overslept.
No. Overslept an audition?
Yeah, I was not good at living things well.
Sorry, I crashed for 18 hours.
It was to be fair, it was like a 10 a.m. audition. It wasn't like absurdly.
That's on them.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
But I emailed Pep and I was like, hey, sorry, I missed. Or no, I didn't email. I just showed up for like the afternoon slots and I was like, hey, I missed my thing. Sorry, if you can fit me in, that'd be great. And they were able to fit me in a slot, and I auditioned, and I got in as an understudy, like just by the skin of my teeth.
Great. And at that time, they were bringing understudies over?
So they knew Pep was leaving, so Pep had decided to move to L.A. and chase his dreams away from Amsterdam, and then eventually go back to it, because it didn't work out.
It lasted like a year.
Exactly. So I was going to be an understudy for like a month and a half, and then I was going to be a regular cast member. So I knew that was going to happen. And then while I was there, Kristy was part of a group called Gayco. She was like the token straight. for a gay co-group, and they were coming over for the gay games in August of '98.
So the first time I was there, I was like, wait, there's gay games coming? I'm in this, gay group. We should come and perform our show and work that out. So I did come back in the summer with Gayco.
And that happened to coincide with when one of my roommates quit. He was like, this is not for me. And he left.
Wow.
So we had an opening. One of my roommates was gone, and this great improviser. And I was like, she's really great. You should, because I'd performed with her on Preponderant.
And you guys, she's not gay. I know for a fact.
No, I was like really excited about her because I enjoyed her as a performer. Because I was, unsurprisingly, a long form snob back then. And Boom is predominantly short form. And so I was kind of like, oh, we could be doing so much cooler stuff like they're doing back in Chicago.
There was a real, I don't know if you felt that in Chicago, like this
Jets and
short
Sharks.
form, long form.
There was a total divide.
Snobbery. Yeah.
It felt one way though. It feels like the short form people were like, yeah, long form's great. And the long form,
it was totally one
was
way.
it? No.
It was
Okay.
just the long form assholes
Yeah.
like me. Yeah.
I had the same experience when I went to Wales, and they were all like, you also went to England? PU.
Yeah.
And then England is like, oh, Wales is beautiful. Oh, they're just the best countryside. And
There's
just
nothing more sad than a one-sided rivalry.
It's the same as like San Francisco, LA. You know, like they hate LA, but LA is like, I love San Francisco. Yeah.
I literally, until this moment, did not know that there was a beef between San Francisco and LA.
It's only from them.
There you go.
Or,
All right, then.
or all of Northern California. Yeah. Do you still feel like you have like a preference for long form, Jethro, or did short form win you over?
I have a preference. So short form definitely won me over. I don't have a bias against it. I do have a preference for long form just because I think that's where the highest ceiling is. But I think that short form raises the floor. Like a bad short form show is not great, but a bad long form show is the worst fucking thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, there is no floor.
No, it is. It goes straight. It's a pit that goes straight down to hell.
Through the earth, yeah.
Yeah, but also like seeing and playing like short form players who move into long form are much better at like gameplay because short form is game and it's game oriented and they know how to play the fucking game, and that is a very useful skill to have in your toolkit for doing long form. I mean, we saw great examples last night in some of the shows. Like they're just playing game.
Yeah.
And even though it's long form, it imbues some of that sensibility into it. So.
Yeah, and being able to find little mini hooks within a greater context. Like the mono scene show last night, they're still playing a long form mono scene that weaves things together and has like massively long connections and callbacks, but like it's a string of pearls like in the meantime. Little hooks, little focuses, character games that can be repeated.
It's I think it's just so short-sighted to say no short form for me when you get to things quicker, like the gameplay. There's just so many of the skills that make for a good long form player are inherent in short form. And you can prefer whatever you want, but like it does seem like you're missing a tool in your toolkit if you aren't able to do this.
And it's so much fun.
It's so much fun.
I love short form. Yeah.
And
And also, if you want to get paid, the monetization path for short form is much better defined than the monetization path for long form.
And I'm a huge advocate for like 101 students, like people coming to improv, start them with short form.
Yeah.
Like I just think that I've seen it so often where it's long form and scenes and they get they don't have that initial boost of excitement and oh, this is fun, I can do this, the confidence, and just drop out. Like, this is work.
That's a great point. It is surprising that more theaters don't start with short form and then you get your feet wet and because I've had so many students, like 101 students, be like, but what are we supposed to talk about? And I'm like, let's just see. Let's just do a scene. They're like, what do you mean a scene? It's like, well, you just have a conversation.
Just
well,
do a
what's
Herald.
funny
Just do a
about that?
Herald.
Yeah, just do a Herald.
Yeah.
Trust me, do a
They're
Herald.
training
When I taught at Second City, like I had a class like TJ taught level A and I taught their level B. And this is like the people who aren't in the conservatory. And like TJ was teaching Heralds in level A. And I was like, that's fucking insane.
It's a Wild West back then.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah.
When did you guys become a set of Nolens?
August 12th, 1998. No, we started dating shortly after she came back for the gay games.
Yes.
And then the guy who left, boom, they offered her spot to Kristy, or his spot to Kristy, and Kristy was like,
but
yeah.
they said, but we only have one place to house you.
Which
and
was
it's
with me.
on Jethro.
Yeah, it was.
You have to lay on his bed.
She was like, "Who do I fuck? I gotta get a spot."
Yeah,
in this.
exactly. They're like, I was like, "Oh, well, we just started dating and stuff," and they're like, "We've got one apartment, so you take it or leave it."
You had paid them under the table to get rid of that other apartment.
So like 3 weeks after we started dating, she moved in with me.
Wow.
Right?
In a foreign country
yeah.
while doing shows every night.
No, yeah,
Child.
So
Yeah.
honestly, that's the only reason it lasted because it's been too awkward to break up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there was nowhere to kick her out.
Yes.
To.
Yeah.
To be fair, Andrew was like, "If there's a problem, then we'll do something." And so I was like, "Oh, all right, okay, fine." So I don't know if that's real. Like if he really would have done that, but that was
and Allison's gonna stay for Christmas, and there won't be a problem. And
yeah. So I was supposed to stay a month, and I ended up staying almost a year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did you guys both go back to Chicago at the same time?
She went about a month and a half ahead of me.
So ish, yeah.
Yeah.
When you got back to Chicago, having all this like short form blood in you, or the chops of doing that every night, do you feel like it changed the Heralds you were doing?
Oh, absolutely. Because also a lot of Preponderate had been at Boom. So like Seth, Jill, and Pete were all Boom alums.
And Ike eventually.
And Ike was actually, his first show was my last show. And then Jen and Bump later became, so there was a lot of that spirit involved in that team already. So it definitely changed us.
When you say Ike, you mean the guy who booked a Jiffy Lube commercial?
Yes.
Yeah,
he played Ike Barinholtz.
Yeah. Talk to me about your long form snobbery. Let's get real nerdy here.
Sure.
Snob me. Like I wanna go deep into the center of no offense.
No,
I'm permission to
I
be
appreciate
snobbed.
it, Suzi, but I'm a married man.
Yeah, I know. I just asked your permission.
Okay, all right then.
Granted.
I mean, I love the most amazing stuff I've seen on stage from an improv context has been long form improv, and short form can be wonderful, and it's a joy. And again, there are a lot of great reasons to do it. Every improviser should have that tool set. But even the best short form shows, the high has never been as high and enduring as the best long form shows that I've been in or seen. And it's just, it goes to a whole nother place to see people, that group mind coalesce and develop when nothing is defined in advance, in a way where, even the best game of sit, stand, lean is, can only get so great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that one guy leaned and the other guy stood.
I've never seen that. I've seen a lean into a sit, but I have never seen a lean into a stand.
Yeah. So like, and again, even in that comment, it sounds like I'm dissing short form. But it's
also like, I think that, and this is not a great thing to say, but in your 20s, when everyone around you is like short form, I mean, I don't think that I was like, wait a minute, I want to discuss this. I just got into the group mind of like, yeah, we're better. Long forms,
Yeah, I mean,
because it just felt like that was kind of my artistic home was IO. And so, I just never, I believed the group, like, yeah, we're better. This is higher art. And
it also takes a level of maturity to realize, like, oh, I can be pro my thing without being anti the thing that isn't my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
just
need to
recognize
make
that
the
it's
other
preference.
sneeches get stars on their bellies,
exactly.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting exactly
But in
where
your
I was going.
20s, I think, and this is probably good for our younger listeners, like, yeah, you maybe
all
find
of the listeners are younger than me.
Yes, thank you. You should find out for yourself. Like, don't. And a lot of times when I'm teaching, I'm like, hey, this may not be your thing. It may be sketch, it may be clowning, it may be storytelling. Go see a moth. Like, but find your thing. If this is, has woke you up that you want to be doing something creative, it may not be the thing that is at the center of my creative being.
It could
but
be
like,
adjacent to your thing.
yes, but find it. You know what I mean? Like, check it out. Don't, because I love it so much that you're like, yes, this is the way. Go find your thing. It's out there.
Do you guys both like doing heralds? Or did you during your heyday of doing them?
Does anyone like doing heralds when they're being forced to doing it?
Yeah. Being forced to. Okay, that's
no.
good.
I mean,
So, and Detroit is not a herald-friendly town.
Oh, really?
No.
so
after you just said, don't hate other people's things.
Yeah.
No, well, our observation
is
as
what we've been told.
It has been like a montage centric. I think that Herald is a great instructional mechanism, and if you threw Herald away and needed to teach people long form, and you built a new thing, it would look a whole lot like Herald.
Right.
Because the skills you get in doing Herald are the skills you need to do long form. You need game. You need callbacks. You need those things. So the Herald is a great instructional tool to get people comfortable with those ingredients they need to be skillful with.
You need the recipe before you start, getting in the kitchen and just pulling things out of the cupboard to make a masterpiece. And like by having that blueprint, it is a nice way to be like, oh yes, we have everything needed for a show.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think back then it did feel a little bit more like a yoke, like
Yeah.
And the thinking back then was you kind of had to do it standard until you got to a certain level, and then you could like adjust it for yourself.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because you guys were one of the teams that I felt like really put your own fingerprints on the Herald. And like, I was getting inspired watching you all and People of Earth and Georgia Pacific and going like, oh, it's cool, they're doing it, and I can see how it's but also they're confident and they know each other and they're bending it a little bit, or they're doing it better.
But not initially.
Yeah, no,
sure.
forever we couldn't find an opening that we liked, and eventually we just settled on, let's just do character monologues.
Great.
And that worked out well for us. But
Yeah.
I think that like it's one of those things where like you have enough of it in your DNA that you can start. You got to learn the scales before you can do the jazz.
Sure.
And also, what is your group good at? I feel like a lot of times I'll have groups that are like, we want to do this. And I'm like, okay, have you played? Like, what are the things that you're really good at? Like, maybe there is an opening or a form that's going to play more to your skills rather than the thing the deconstruction or the thing that you really want to do. And so I think that with Preponderate, like, we did standard heralds till we saw like, oh, we all really like character. We like doing, and that's what helped build what we started to do.
Yeah. And it's nice when that comes from a coach, like early in a rehearsal process. Where they can go like, you all play really slow and patient. I think we should lean in that direction. Or like, you guys are quick. Let's put a lot of tags in your style or whatever it is. Yeah.
We had great coaches, but I don't want to say because I'll name drop.
Say.
Wow. Yeah, say it. Go ahead.
So first,
God, have you ever heard
Pulls
of
out
God?
a giant list. Yeah.
so E.J. Peters was our first coach.
Wow.
And then
You don't say.
Yeah. And then
She dated Jon Favreau. Anyway, go ahead.
and then Craig was next, and then TJ.
We had Armando.
TJ
briefly.
from the Sonic commercial.
Yes.
TJ was our coach for the longest.
And he got
probably.
a callback for Jiffy Lube.
Yeah,
Yes.
he
He told me. Yeah.
Fingers
He
crossed.
did.
Right.
It's weird that they recast that one role.
Yeah. So we had amazing teachers. Craig and TJ was the most influential and longest, probably.
Do you remember any lessons or nuggets that you learned from any of your great coaches?
Oh yeah, I
Tell
remember
me.
coming off a scene one time, and he was like, "Kristy, so and so offered you a beer, and you said no, and you asked for something else." And I was like, yes, because my character didn't want a beer. I was feeling like a margarita. And he was like, well, what if you said yes and then had your character feel how it feels about it? And I was like, yeah, exactly.
My philosophy is that both moves are totally valid.
Yes.
Like I believe in saying no to someone asking you to do something or taking some is not like a no to the show, provided that you give like what you would rather be doing or whatever. Yeah.
I think what I took away from it is no is easy.
Yeah.
Right. But also like a beer. Yes. Oh, it's light beer, right? Like, I think what he said was like, I would have loved to have seen what that character thought about and having to drink the beer and saying yes to it.
Totally.
And and again, this is not a big rule. Like, of course I say no all the time, but it just.
You said it to me before the show. I was like, do you want to be interviewed? And you were like, no. And then We called you up before you could change your mind.
I try to think about saying yes more.
Yeah.
How can I make the yes work with what I'm doing?
Yeah. And I think that is like, I think everyone habitually, we're kind of trained by life to like say no to stuff first, like for our own safety and like for rules and whatever. But yeah, the fun thing can be if your character doesn't want to do this, what does the reluctant yes look like? Because comedy is built on people being in situations they don't want to be in, or paired with someone who's challenging for them or whatever. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles would be so boring if Steve Martin was like, no, I'm going to travel by myself.
Yes,
but good
exactly.
to meet you.
Or if you had said yes and drank the beer and you're like, this is terrible, we'll never know what happened with the character if they had said yes to the offer your teammate made. And it just, for whatever reason, really sparked something.
Re-injured your brain.
It re-injured
your
it.
mind.
Yes, exactly.
So, it was about time for callback, but I kind of shoehorned it. What about you, Jethro? Do you have like nuggets that you remember from people?
I don't especially remember them in that way. Like I was certainly influenced by them, but I don't have as much. Also, my brain rewrites everything as a heroic journey where I talk to myself.
I want to hear that version. You taught Craig Kukowski.
I will say there was one moment like in a scene. So I was doing like a corporate thing at Second City with, and I was on stage with Josh Funk, and who I did not know.
He's so brilliant.
Great guy, amazing reputation, well deserved. And he was like, I was in a scene with him, and he was taking such good care of me in that scene that I like went out of my body for a minute. I was like, oh, he is really taking care of me as an improviser. Like he is walking me through this and giving me a place to be. And it was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to save this for later. So it's more that in the context of the moment of the improv is when things unlock for me more than what, a note happens.
Yeah, gotcha. Especially since it was your hero's journey, and heroes don't get notes.
Exactly.
For part 2 of this episode, go to yesalso.supercast.com.
If you're not buying the premium version of Yes Also and getting you are missing the best value in improv education you can get. $8 a month and an incredible library of interviews they save all the good stuff for the second half.
If you like this podcast and you want double the content, head over to yesalso.supercast.com and subscribe. You can also help us out for free by subscribing to us on YouTube and talking us up to your improv communities. If you have a question that you'd like us to answer in one of our Q&A episodes, or a topic that you think would make a great bonus episode, put it in a 5-star review. If you're a theater who would like to host us for a live recording and improv show, let us know at yesalsopod@gmail.com. A very special thanks to our producer, Ryan Rosenberg, audio and video editor, Brian Kessler, and Britt Faye, who does our marketing. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. No, we won't, Suzi. That's not how podcasts work. They won't even see us. They will listen to us, so it's actually the opposite of both things you said. Thanks for listening, and you will listen to us next week. Maybe. We don't know.